So here we are on our late afternoon, early evening walk. It hasn't been raining for 2 days now. Well, at least during the day. And it's, let's say, sunny day, but it's windy, quite windy. So we have time to talk about the flood and the aftermath while we are walking. Lizzie, she hasn't been eating today, don't know why, and now she wants to eat grass, and I don't let her because she will then throw up. So it's 10 days since the flood. And to recap, basically on the Wednesday night at around 8:30 it started to rain. Basically in 15 minutes it started to flood. In another 15 minutes to an hour or half an hour it started to the water has risen to such level that it started to come inside the house through the ground level windows, the basement windows. And in hour and the heavy raining lasted for an hour and a half about that time, let's say. Then it subsided substantially, so the majority of water could then drain, but we still needed the help of the firefighters with their pumps to remove the majority, like 90% of the water from the basement, and the rest, the last centimeters or 2 centimeters that the pump cannot physically, grab, let's say. We had to take it out from the basement, by hand, by buckets. So yeah, at the worst there was around 15 centimeters of water throughout the basement, but the first let's say room, the basement room that is connected to the basement door, we call it garden door, that was hit the most, as it was acting like a barrier, like a dam, let's say. And there water rose to about 1.5 meters. So yeah, and that was of course also the hardest hit regarding the damage. But fortunately for us, this time the sewer system held to its own, so there wasn't any let's say backfiring of the sewer system as it happened 10 years ago. And so basically when the first flood happened, the water came inside of the basement through the garden door, and also, but mainly through the water drain in the basement. So instead of swallowing the water, draining out the water, water came inside the basement. Luckily this time didn't happen. So yeah, but there was still damage. Mostly damage in losing a lot of, let's say, paper-based products, artifacts, material. You know, basically my mom lost the entire archive from her Lizzie Pretty chess, from her work. Lil Sis lost it, basically the whole lot of... Lizzie, tukaj greva okrog. Danes greva tukaj. Yeah, she wants to go to the field, Stegne field, but today we are going here. To Verovškova road, where her favorite aunt is working. But of course not today, because it's Saturday evening. So Lil Sis lost her notebooks and textbooks from school, but she's not bummed about this. I lost, I think, 6 boxes of magazines that I collect. Fortunately, I haven't lost any books, which was the most important thing. The only, let's say, I had, let's say, a backup PC, my old PC, which was still working, but I haven't been using it, and it was in basement as a backup. That got flooded, and sister lost her big screen flat TV. I don't know what, 2 meters, meter and a half wide. Basically 2 persons have to pick it up. So yeah, that was flooded. So that was the largest loss. Other things, mainly paper. A lot of boxes got flooded with like shoes for the winter. So those, or summer shoes, or those could be safe. They were just thrown into the... So basically for a week, washing machine was non-stop working. TJ's and Liza's things were like 99% saved. Couple of her old toys that didn't survive the wash process, the stitches gave out, or they were even before torn apart by Liza. Those were thrown out. But the, let's say, her linen, the beds, dog beds, overalls and so forth, those are all washed, rewashed, and they are basically okay. Now the problem is that we don't have cardboard boxes anymore. So yeah, and we are slowly gathering them. I was planning to buy them. I looked at a couple of companies, but for their quite small, or one or two sizes only, and quite expensive. So yeah, and regarding, so let's say, how the other parts of Shishka and Ljubljana fared during the flood. So the next day they said the estimate was about 80 liters of water per square meter had fallen in that hour and a half, which is basically the sum of 2 previous months of rain in one event, you know. But then they revised the number and it's closer to 100 liters here in Ljubljana, and even one region was hit even more, where it was raining it rained about 120 liters per square meter. But they were more fortunate because that region is mostly rural, so you know, villages, and they don't have such problems with, you know, confined spaces, a lot of, you know, asphalt, which prevents the natural draining of water. And so apparently a lot of other apartment buildings in our neighborhood got flooded, the basements, and you can see a lot of in a lot of places they started, you know, also removing, you know, the destroyed materials, artifacts, pieces of furniture, especially, you know, doors and Lizzie, different, you know, how you say, now I cannot remember the name of the furniture in English, only in German. This is the problem when you know too much languages. Closets. Yeah, a lot of closets that were, you know, in basements got destroyed, so, and they had to remove them. Also, my primary school, elementary school, was flooded. Apparently the gym was flooded, and even the first floor, so above the gym, was flooded. So apparently it didn't, the water didn't only come from outside, but also through the roof. And also a couple other apartment buildings reported that there were flooding in the upper levels, on the upper floor, when the roof caved in due to this amount of rain, and it started to flood in. And a couple others said that because it was also windy during the raining, so you know, there was a little bit of angle that the rain came into, and it flooded through the vents, so through the outside vent holes, it flooded inside the apartments, well, or at least made them a little bit wet. Yeah, all the underpasses were flooded, And of course there were, as always, there were a couple of idiots when they see, you know, half a meter of water or more, and they have, you know, Superman mentality. Yeah, we can go through that. We will just gun it, and you know, I will have enough speed and momentum, and I will get through them. I will surf through that water. It's nothing. Yeah, and then they get stuck. The motor dies. It got flooded, and of course, then they have to swim out. And this thing happens basically every time when it's a little bit stronger or major rain event that happens here, not only in this case. So yeah, they said that since 160 years of recorded meteorological events here in Ljubljana, this was the worst rain event in this history. And according to them, this is an event that happens once in 250 years. So yeah, as I said in the previous video regarding flood, it also flooded the main railway station, our main hospital, university, hospital center. What else? And several apartment buildings, even some of the upper scale. So there is one upscale, you know, luxury apartment building which is located near the main railway station, so-called Situla. So Situla is an ornamental vase which was known as a metal object from the Slovenian so pre-Roman era, so Celtic era. They have found several of such objects around Slovenia. And yeah, so this apartment complex was basically, it's a one large building in basically triangle shape, and it got flooded, and it got flooded hard. With that, I mean, it has 4 underground levels, you know, underground garages, garage levels, and also storage levels. Well, the levels are also used for storage for the residents. Why we have to walk here, I don't know. And all 4 levels, underground levels, got flooded. In the 4th, so the deepest underground level, there was 1.5 meters water. Every car, motorcycle was destroyed, basically flooded completely. Plus there was also, this shown on TV, there was a, you know, glass door separating the garage area from the storage area, and it got psička. And no, pridi, Lizi. Napijemo. Tuki. Pridi. So the Liza gremo. So that glass door, basically something like that, shattered completely. That gave way in the water, so that reached all the storage spaces that were on the hallway behind the glass door, and everything got flooded, you know, 1.5 meters. So you have to imagine that the drainage system for the first 3 underground levels, it was easy, couldn't swallow all the water that was coming rushing down stairs. And then you also have to question yourself how the architects designed this drainage system that ground floor and 3 underground levels couldn't handle such flood. So and such upscale property all destroyed. So yeah, that's it. A little bit long overview of what had happened. So that's it. Thanks for listening. You didn't see basically anything new. We had been here before. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and we see you later. Bye.